gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the Early Bird Special. Bringing you the best stories from the world of sports and sports entertainment. Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
And welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special. Final half hour of the week. We got to thank Andrew Boydston for dropping by, talking about their comedy show coming up this weekend. But we are very excited to talk to professional boxer Joel Iriarte and his coach, Martin Espinosa. Boys, how are you? How's everything going?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. Joel, we'll start with you, my friend. And we got to talk about the career and stuff like that. How did you get started in professional boxing? You're currently 8-0 in your career, 7 knockouts. Where did all this start? Have you always wanted to be a boxer? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, man. I appreciate it for having us.
No problem.
Everyone that's on the Early Bird, today, appreciate you guys tuning in. But, I started boxing when I was 6 years old. It was kind of like a thing of motivation. I wanted to do karate, combat training. And my dad ended up having a friend that actually had just opened up a boxing gym. So, that's kind of how I got started in the boxing game. And, I was 6 years old and they were like, oh, we start him off at 8 years old. So they were like, let's see how long he lasts. But, I decided to, stick to it. And we're here now, man. So, I'm excited to, keep on pushing my professional career and hopefully that path to being a world champion.
So when did that really become a factor for you? When did you look at this and say, you know what, I could do this professionally? Like, I could beat up guys for a living and get paid for it.
Yeah, it was I was a real shy kid, man. A lot of people think like, oh, you have to have something, like deep in you, but I was a really shy kid, bro. I was, like teacher's pet, like very smart, like a real nerd, nerdy, shy, scrawny kid, very skinny all my life. So it was just like a passion thing, the coaches and everyone, the ambience of being a boxer and it being like completely different from what I was used to. Kind of like the whole, like maybe he can't do it, like see how long it takes him to like, just actually, kind of like build in that boxer style, that boxer character. So it wasn't until like I started hitting 11, 12, 13 years old, where I started to like develop like more of like that tougher, skin.
Mentality.
Yeah, more tougher skin. And, I guess those early teen years were for me like the thing where it was just like, I'm going to stick to it. I turned 13 and it was like, okay, I'm turned 14. I'm be able to go on Team USA, do those tournaments and stuff like that. It's actually something I want to do. So I think that around those years where it was like, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And, so it was a good, just decision in my life. And now we're professional. Signed with Golden Boy. I have my first little title. I have the WBA, so, seeing how far I could take it, and looking back then on me, having even those moments of like, oh, can I do it?
Right.
Is, super, I get a lot of,
It sounds to me like the challenge of like people thinking you couldn't do it is what really drove you to this. Do you kind of use that as a coach to kind of motivate him in certain ways? Or?
I don't know. He has a lot of
Does he still have that chip on his shoulder?
Yeah, he does. He does in regards to just his ability. I think just even coming up, he gets a little written off. Even as coming up as a gym, us starting off, the ability and what we're able to do for the community. We've had a lot of conversations where we didn't hear back from people, and it's kind of like not taken as serious as people.
A little disheartening.
Yeah, but he's 22, so people don't think he's as serious as he is in regards to just his total character and who he is and the depth of his character. So, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for Joel, but sometimes I see that where he's like, okay, it's time to show him again.
Okay.
It's time to show him again.
Now, I noticed you were born in Woodland Hills. Were you raised here? Or were you raised over there in Woodland?
No, I was born here. I mean, I was raised here.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
At 3 years old, 4 years old, I think we came over here. So, yeah, I've been here my whole life.
So the Bakersfield mentality, did you go to high school here and everything?
Yeah, Ridgeview, I went.
Nice. Go Wolfpack.
Yeah,
Ridgeview.
let's go, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
Ridgeview boy over there. I went to Garces, so it is what it is. But I didn't want to. But family got to choose where I got to go, so that's what.
Yeah, I lived over there in the Greenfield area, so I went to elementary school.
Right in my backyard.
Yeah,
okay.
I went to school in Horizon. McKee. We just did like a little. I went and I talked to the kids, did a little like presentation and motivate them at McKee. So yeah, man, it was exciting, to see where I obviously started off as a kid, but I've been here my whole life.
Okay, so who was the inspiration that really made you want to get into karate and do combat sports?
I always tell everybody it's like a weird story because I was just watching Karate Kid and I was
really
like, yeah, it was like coming up.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. You want to do the
kid.
crane kick. That's what it was, huh?
Yeah, the little thing with the 1 foot. But my dad, being Hispanic, he was like, "Hey man, leave that across. Just lace the gloves on."
Ralph Macchio ain't exactly what everybody does, son.
Yeah. So we decided to do boxing, and
Okay.
we're here.
That's awesome, dude. I love that. Obviously, getting into boxing, you're professional, 8-0 right now is a record. You were just on the Jake Paul and Chavez card. How was that? I know, obviously, you had to go into this. You were thinking you were fighting one guy. That got canceled. You had to quickly switch over. So what was the mindset switch for you in that?
Yeah, you prepare for something. You expect something, and
Right.
to get a completely different opponent, different styles. From what you're prepared for. Obviously it's a little bit. You gotta adjust, adapt. But I think the good thing is that we're prepared. We have so much experience in the game. Starting, since I boxed since I was 6 years old. So it's being in the gym consistently, having a hard preparation with our strength and conditioning. With our boxing, our sparring, our preparation leading up to the fight was pretty much excellent. So, we had all the tools to, overcome those obstacles and, perform on such an amazing stage. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake Paul, big stage, big platform, so us being able to show up, show out, and put Bakersfield, represent Bakersfield for me has always been a dream, so I was excited to go in, show my skill set, and then, come up with the victory.
Absolutely. And obviously, it's your only unanimous decision of your career so far.
Yeah.
Do you think if you had a little bit more prep time, you probably would have made it 8Ks?
Yeah, I've been knocking them out, since my first fight, I've been knocking them out. I haven't gone past the second round. So for this guy to be a little bit tougher, he was part of the, Team Mayweather. So I know he came in with a lot of experience. He's been in there with a couple world champions before. He's gone the distance. So I knew he was going to come in tough, being one of, my tougher opponents. So, but now with that experience, I do feel like if I got in there again, I'd stop him. Yeah, I'd finish him.
And talk about the gym a little bit. We'll shift over to Martin since you're the one that runs the gym right now. Do you take in other people for lessons and stuff like that? We'll start there for like anybody who just wants to roll in and maybe want to learn how to box.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have athletes of a lot of different backgrounds. So we have athletes just starting out. We have our TOTS class, which is 2 to 4 years old. We have our little champs, which is 5 to 7. We have like our core group, which is our competitive boxers.
Okay.
So that's a really big group. We have a lot of coaches on staff, and then we have our boxing fundamentals group, which is people who are ready to transition to that competitive stage or kind of like recreational boxing. Like come in, you're not going to get hit, but we want you to learn how to jab before you leave training this week. We want you to learn how to slip a punch, how to get your conditioning up. So that way you can feel a little more confident, a little more empowered, and just sometimes running on the treadmills, it's really boring. So it's a good way to work a sweat, burn some calories, and we also do a lot of work with inclusive adaptive fitness. So we do work with KRC. So me and Joel both, we see a fair amount of clients throughout the week with different cognitive and physical disabilities. That's one of the biggest things that he's an ambassador for. We work with the League of Dreams and other organizations like
Love the League of Dreams.
Yeah, that's great.
Big fans of them over there. So where can people go to get signed up then if they want to?
The easiest way is the Instagram.
Okay.
As the Warmup Athletics. And then that's what it's called, right?
Yeah. Warmup Athletic website, hit us up on Google, find our phone number.
And you guys will reach out to them that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. A couple self-indulgent questions for you guys here. Well, first one for you. I always like asking this question with fighters. Who is your dream fight right now? It could be anybody across history. You could fight Manny Pacquiao. You could fight Muhammad Ali. I don't care who it is. But if you could sign a contract right now for a fight for September, who would you fight?
Man, they always say, like, you don't want to meet or fight your heroes, right? Like your dream fight.
Yeah.
I don't know. But for me, I always wanted to fight, the best. So, like, people, like the best ever. I think Julio Cesar Chavez, since he fought, I would like to fight his dad.
That would be interesting.
Just because, I think the Mexican clash, the styles, I think that, fighting, he's one of the best of all time. So I think that would be, like, obviously one of my dream fights.
Okay. Now,
I got one for him.
Okay, you go for it.
And just to clarify, I'm his strength and conditioning coach.
Absolutely.
So you don't want me teaching your kids boxing. I would want him to fight Mayweather. Like give Joel 4 or 5 more years.
Yeah.
Right, maybe 3 more years.
Yeah.
Just because he's so diverse as a fighter, offense, defense, transition, power.
You think you could pin him to a corner and stop Mayweather from running? Because that's one of my biggest gripes against him is that boy just the entire fight. It's like,
Joel,
dude, sit down for a second.
Joel will make him trade. I just like, because no one cracked that code. And I'll be like, man, I think Joel would have been the guy.
Okay, that's an interesting take. I like that. I like that, especially coming from your coach. Obviously, he knows what you're capable of.
I was going to say, that's good words
high
coming from
orders
your
right
coach.
there.
Right? No, yeah.
So with the gym and stuff like that, how often do you guys do these courses? How often can people get in touch with you guys? Like, I know there's a lot of people that I know that have always wanted to get into combat sports. So how quickly can they get going with you guys?
Today, 4 p.m.
Fantastic.
A boxing fundamentals class, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. For our competitive fighters, it's a 2-hour class. It's a little more extensive, a little more comprehensive, 6 to 8 p.m. Today, come in. I mean, we just started in October, but you know, we've been moving pretty fast, and then we just see where we're going in the next 5 years, and it's like, man, come on in, bring it in. We're doing a lot of great things.
Ride the wave with them, man.
Yes.
Jump in on this. So both of you are obviously deep into the boxing scene. I'm going to start with the fun one this weekend. Thoughts on Manny Pacquiao returning to the game and having his first fight here this weekend?
Yeah, man. You got to leave my guy alone, bro. A legend in the game.
He chose to come back, man. He came out of politics and said, I want to beat someone up again.
Right. You got to give it up for him, man. Well, how old is he? 40?
Politics will do that to people.
Right?
Yeah.
Man, those guys are. But, I think logically you think like the younger guy, stronger guy, up-and-coming guy. But, I mean, you can't knock what Pacquiao's have done, what he has done for the game. So, it's going to be a good one, man. I think stuff like that's 50-50. Barrios hasn't, they both haven't been active recently, but we'll see, man. I want Mac get a win, bro. I'm a big Pacquiao fan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, hopefully Pacquiao brings it through.
And then I always like to ask this too, but with the world of boxing shifting more towards like the Jake Paul scene, like the influencers seem to get most of the sighting. What do you feel? Like, how do you feel about that with the game? Like, do you like the fact that Jake Paul is bringing all this attention to the game? Or are you one of the traditionalists that wish it was more of like an actual boxer doing this?
I don't know. I think in the beginning I thought like, hey, this is kind of funny. It's putting a bad name and reputation on the sport.
Right.
But I think now, since being a part of it, I think I see how much like he does train as a boxer. He loses the weight. He had a hard time cutting weight this past camp. So, you see him actually make the sacrifice to be a professional boxer. So you gotta respect it. And then a lot of attention, a lot of media, it was a different experience from us being on even big fights in the past, So, us being there, getting that exposure, I think it's really good for us up and coming fighters and for the sport, in itself. A lot of people want to get in the ring, be boxers and stuff like that.
Right.
So it brings a different audience, the youth and stuff like that. Nowadays the kids could be influenced by, some random dude. So the fact that they're in there, and, they could be influenced by, boxers who are of good lifestyles, good quality life, smart,
Absolutely.
intelligent. I think that's important too. So I think he's doing something that's good for the game.
See, that's what I've always said too. Is like, as long as you are doing it in a positive way, he's not trying to make a joke out of it. He's not. I know everybody likes to knock him and say, "Oh, he's only fighting, weak fighters or something like that." It's like, well, when the top-notch fighters aren't exactly accepting your contracts, you have to take the ones you're going to get, right?
100%.
So all he's trying to do is boost the game, which personally, and I hate saying this, but it's been kind of dying the last couple years. And you need somebody to come in and kind of bring it back up,
Yeah. UFC's been doing UFC's been coming up pretty quickly, So for Jake Paul and like these other influencers, to be able to put the gloves on and do it, like you're saying, again, in positive, impact the youth and the community and stuff like that, or, different areas. I think this is good what they're doing.
He said he wants to fight Joshua.
I know, I saw that coming up, man. I think that'd be an interesting
That's
one.
a dangerous
I was
fight.
just about to ask. I was I never know.
Dangerous fight.
But guys, we are running out of time, unfortunately. Thank you so much for your time. Anything else you want to shout out before we let you go?
The Warmup Project, nonprofit. So again, Joel's a fighter. More than that, he's a great ambassador to the community. He's doing a lot of stuff for foster youth, for youth and young adults with cognitive and physical disabilities. Giving them a chance to box, just to be like any other kid, like they deserve to be. And the Warmup Project, Warmup Athletics, Joel Iriarte, everything we're doing, and watch us grow.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. Send me over the stuff for warm up and for the gym. We'd love to pump it up for you guys on our social media as well. And we hope to talk to you guys soon. And when you sign your next fight, let us know. We'll get you back on and talk about it.
Yeah, we'll be there. Stay
Awesome.
tuned, guys.
Thanks
so
guys.
much.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back. We got to take a break, pay some bills. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield.